Sure. Member Mark Grabowski. Member Belt. Member Wallenstein. Member Jim Grabowski. And then members Patrick Wunsch, Lauren Miller, and Ed Hill are excused.
Okay, let's see. Item 2, approval of minutes. Did everybody have a chance to read them, and does anybody have any changes?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Minutes approved. There are no citizens here, so we'll skip number 3. Number 4, old business. Discussion and possible action to resolve storm sewer obstruction at 219 Park Avenue. Since Director Beekle is excused, Matt, I believe you will be taking his spot.
Yes, please. For this agenda item, what Dave, his memo is pretty thorough on where we're at. It's really just a status update for the committee. The collapse is still in place, so the pipe is still blocked currently, and we're waiting for residents to respond. We've attempted to get easements to do the work on their property. And I think that the only real issue of contention is whether we restore using concrete or riprap. It would be Dave's preference, and I think the committee's preference to use riprap, but I think the owners are pushing for concrete replacement.
Yeah, I guess that was my only question, because it looked like current design includes cutting back and relaying pipe, restoring with concrete. The staff memo, I think, said that was the holdup about restoration. And I think the last meeting we discussed that if it was improperly paved in the first place, we shouldn't repave it. So is Dave looking for direction on this or just a status update?
Just a status update.
Anybody have any comment on the restoration part? Is that between that and the easement, that appears to be the only holdups in this?
Well, are they not granting the easement that we won't put back the concrete?
I kind of feel like it's a chicken and the egg type thing. Or have we had discussions with them?
We have, as
One hasn't gotten back to them, correct?
I don't think either one has gotten it back to them, to be honest. So there's possibility they're communicating with each other. So yeah, I think he's waiting for both of them to respond.
Well, I guess we'll just, yeah, I don't think we have to take action, do we, since it was just an update?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just expect to see this on the February meeting agenda. Okay. Old business 4B, discussion regarding the 2025 street and utility program.
If I may, Chairman Grabowski?
Yep.
Again, this is really just a discussion point. There's no action. I think he wanted, or Dave, Director Beekle, wanted people to have an opportunity to weigh in with any of their personal experiences with the project. The status is there are still some punch list items that need to be complete. So, for example, landscaping won't be done until spring. Won't be complete until spring. In very, very general terms, like from a 50,000-foot perspective, it was a fairly normal street project in terms of the odd things that you discover whenever you excavate and then have to respond to. We did have a couple of complaints about the courtesy of the contractor working. But again, you know, Director Beekle and I, we think it went pretty well in that we did manage to keep the street open for businesses for most of the project. So we're pretty happy about that.
Thanks mostly about American.
I was a complainer. Not a complainer. I sent a constructive email. It was just
Which American, the general?
Well, the general was Payne and Dolan.
Okay. Okay. I was just curious with the contract.
Yeah, which we only had 2 bidders on the project. And Payne and Dolan is obviously a significant bidder, and they're a significant company for these types of projects, so.
What was your?
It was, so we have 3 businesses that operate out of Sussex Street, and it was tremendously, there was a lot of issues, right? Like, just sometimes the road wasn't necessarily navigable between transitions between finished pavement and the construction zone, and sometimes there was a mound of dirt, sometimes there was just a needed drop. But the bigger issue for us was there were just seemingly random periodic closures of Sussex Street and Ormsby, which would be the 2 streets you would take to get access. A lot of times, if you were driving south down those streets, like if you came from Sussex Street to Ormsby or Sussex, there wouldn't even be signage saying it was closed. Well, like, I mean, at least a dozen times where a semi or somebody with towing a piece of heavy equipment would get to a pile of dirt in the road and then have to back down Sussex Street. It was also like a playground for some neighborhood kids. And it was just challenging. They would position signs in the road so there'd be one-way traffic instead of, and it was on the tight corners. So it was just really challenging, and they were constantly getting hit by, between us and Center Point, it was like playing whack-a-mole with cones and barricades, where it was like, yeah, if you drive a Kia sedan, you're not gonna have a problem, but if you're driving a 18-wheeler or a trailer, it was immensely challenging.
American is one of the least respected on the
Yeah.
contractor. And then we kicked out of Milwaukee. I think the band from Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
That also falls on Payne and Dolan to manage the matter.
Yeah, and there was a lot of times
Right.
where you'd be driving through and, there would be a guy in a t-shirt that would just walk in front of traffic, not high vis or anything, jump in a skid loader, back it down the road, and it's just like, what, it was,
Right.
it was just really, it was really, really, really
Once you get out of it,
challenging. So,
No.
And we did open bid it, right? And it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are these next projects we talk about, are they gonna be bid earlier?
We're working on it,
Okay.
yep, so,
Because that's been one,
Yes.
you get better pricing when you can get
Right.
it out earlier, because everyone's trying to fill their backlog. Number 2, maybe one day, we'll start a project and finish it before school starts.
Well, that'll come, table that discussion till the 2026 projects, so. Yeah, obviously, there was, the typical chatter about the duration and the original timetable that went up that showed the road reopening to 2-way at the end of September. And, obviously, we know challenges came up, and I think there was one traffic accident and such. It did seem to just, I think that's when I fielded the most concerns was in that October 1st to like 15th period when it was originally shown to be 2-way traffic. And every day that you got there and saw that it was still 1-way, I think that's when people started to get a little edgy.
And in the defense of the village or the contractor, it was compounded by that flood situation where
Yeah,
all of a sudden there was no way to access anywhere back there. That was
Right.
good,
right. I'm happy it's done, except for the punch list items. To wrap up these, are we still pursuing a permit with the railroad to repair the easement?
yes. So we have an open, an open request with the railroad, requesting be able to work within their easement. They had responded with some standard paperwork that had required a $10 million liability limit for the village insurance, and our current policy is $6 million. So we had sent them a request saying, hey, can you live with our $6 million limit? And then we haven't heard back. But yes, it's still an open request, so in the event we get that ironed out, we can go back and fix the.
And did the original budget and bid include those right away being repaved, or will that be a new line item in project?
I believe they included them.
Okay. Anyone else? Questions, comments, or concerns? All right. Then we'll go on to new business. Discussion and possible action regarding adding a railing on the sidewalk in front of 319 High Street, item 5A.
So, if I may, trustee Grabowski?
Absolutely.
So this is just to remind the committee, this is a request from not the property on the corner where this would impact, but a neighboring property up the street with safety concerns that if somebody was on a bike or something or a scooter coming down the sidewalk, they'd lose control and there's a big drop off. So staff have been working on getting some quotes. At the time that the packet went out, one of the three companies requesting quotes had just submitted something at the 11th hour. So the memo says there's no responses, but there is one in the packet for you to evaluate. So that particular quote is for $4,200. And it's tube steeled rails that would be installed. The key thing here is that the committee needs to be aware that because of the state of the retaining wall, it would need to be bolted directly into the sidewalk, which might be the best option anyway, because if it was bolted to the wall or in that green space, there'd still be some drop off before you hit that railing. But anyway, staff is also pursuing some quotes to see what it would take to repair that retaining wall at that spot, and we don't have that information yet. One of the companies sought for a quote, simply didn't respond, and then another one, it's a cyclone fencing company that's here in the village, has said that they will get us something if they hadn't by the time they haven't by today so far. So at this point, I'm thinking we need to get our arms around what's going on with the retaining wall at that location before the railing move gets addressed by the committee.
And remind myself, especially again, there was a contribution from a resident up the street. How much was the?
$2,000. It was a $2,000 donation.
Which wouldn't cover the fence, let alone the fence plus the retaining wall.
Did we solicit when we talked to the other contractors where we just said a railing, or was it gonna be the same style to rail?
Well, we kind of left it up to them and their expertise to see what they would recommend. So with the contractor that did end up submitting the bid for the tube steel, we had started off the discussion with wrought iron to be a little bit more decorative. It's right downtown, but that became cost prohibitive very quickly. So in the discussion, we kind of throttled it back to the tube steel based on what the contractor was telling us, what the kind of materials would fit the use.
Totally understand that, but here's the issue, is that we're gonna cite, because it's the recommendation on here is that the citing International Building Code, and Nick, you can jump in on this with me, but I'm pretty sure that anytime we have this railing or guardrail meeting those requirements, we gotta have balusters on there. It can't pass a 4-inch sphere. So a 2-rail system, I don't think is gonna meet code. We're gonna worry about code.
That would be,
There's gonna be over 36 inches there. So
yeah,
it's
but
gonna have to have the,
there's a height,
it'll be 42 inches tall, I think.
yeah, but there's a height.
The drop.
It'd be triggered by a drop off, right?
But that's what this
But
is saying.
But I mean, yeah, but whatever the height of the drop, you're not going, what is that?
30 inches?
30 inch, which I think
It'd be, yeah,
if you had over 30 inches, you gotta do
it'd
the
be
4
close, yeah.
4-inch.
Yeah,
Can't pass a
with a
4-inch
30
sphere.
inch or more drop. For the International Building Code, the standard guardrails having a retaining wall with 30 inch or more that drop 36 inches to walking surface. what?
If we're gonna do it, I don't wanna
Yeah.
put in a railing that's.
Not gonna be the
Not
code.
even-
Yeah,
So that-
yeah.
So that when, if and when something happens, we're still liable.
Because
Not-
if a kid comes cruising down on his little bike,
Yeah.
hits that railing, he can go right through that, you know, or
Decapitate
underneath it.
him.
Yeah.
You know, so.
What if we just put a sign that says slow curve with an arrow so that kids, when they're coming down, they have to yield?
All right, I will bring that feedback back.
Yeah, because this isn't just a handrail, this is a guardrail.
Right, right.
Yeah, so yeah, if it was a handrail, this would work. 'cause
Right.
That's, yeah,
Right.
but I think for guard, it needs to have the balusters.
I think we're gonna find that retaining wall is gonna be a lot more than the $2,000 donation.
We open
Yeah.
a can of worms here.
Yeah, I think you're basically, I mean, it's like the retaining wall on the Orchard Alley, you know, they're gonna wind up replacing it all the way up to, you know, a block up the road. Okay, so,
Could you repeat for me what the code requires, please?
Oh, I believe it needs, it cannot pass a 4-inch sphere is between the balusters. So like, basically the idea with a 4-inch sphere is the kid's head,
yeah.
a bit like, oddly enough, so the kid can't put his head through the
Okay.
railing. So let me verify that in the wording, but
Yeah, the kid coming down on a little big wheel or something, that's right at forehead height, that lower rail.
yeah. International requires baluster spacing to prevent a 4-inch sphere from passing through. So,
Okay,
All right, Jay, we started at 4:30 per your boss's request.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're,
No.
I didn't know you were coming.
Sorry we didn't notify you.
he's at a funeral.
yeah, 34 inches. 34 inches is the limit, I guess.
The limit for what?
So yeah, the drop off, if it's 34 inches or high, oh wait. Yeah, so if above 34 inches, you gotta have that 4-inch sphere requirement. Can't put the baby's head through the railing. That's supposed to be what it's,
That's really what
that's
it
literally
is.
what it's like. It's meant to, the 4-inch spheres mean a kid's head can't go through there is really the whole, that's my understanding.
Okay.
What I was always told. I've never tried. That's why I put that on record.
Mark
I want
never
that on the record. I've never tried shoving a baby's
Mark
head.
never had to worry about either. Huge melon as a kid. He wouldn't fit through this. Okay, so we have no action on this because we're still A, waiting on a second bid, and now B, possibly a change order regarding what has already been quoted. Correct?
Right, correct.
All right, and then we are still waiting on, have we actively found somebody to bid out the retaining wall, or are we just kind of estimating that?
I think we were actively going to seek out a contractor to do the work.
We're not, but I'm saying is we don't have anyone currently preparing one. Okay. Okay. So then no action taken on that, right?
Right.
Discussion and possible action. I guess
Just because it says possible action,
Action, we
you don't have to take, you do
it.
not have
Okay.
to take action.
All right. No action taken. All right, next item, discussion and possible action regarding the 2026 street and utility program.
Okay, so the three projects that Dave has identified, Director Beako's identified, is finishing West Wisconsin, a street project on Glacier, which would include some replacement of water main, and then Prospect Avenue. And the new as of today is that there could be an issue with the utility poles on Prospect. We don't know if they're We don't know how, if they're in the public right-of-way or not. So the design, when it goes to design phase, that'll tell us if they'll need to be moved with the project. So on November 18th, Director Beagle will have a proposal from R.A. Smith for the village board to approve design work for that project. Excuse me.
Which is fine. I mean, my recommendation to Director Bucco before was, if we're gonna do this, we should try to do it right. And with We Energy's concentrated effort for storm hardening to put lines underground, we should be reaching out to them to see if they would be willing to bury those as part of the project. I also, I mean, I don't know if Dave looked into it, if that qualifies anything on the safer streets, because I can't imagine having power poles 1 foot off of each side of the road. Pretty sure that constitutes a safety hazard. But I would love to see Prospect without those power poles right there. Especially with the underbuild from AT&T that hangs about 6 feet off the road. Really makes it look classy.
A lot of homeowners on that side can't,
Can't get a trailer into their.
yeah, like, I mean, just normal, you just forget the 14-foot, you know, that normally is all right. I mean, they can't put in like, back in like a 10-foot trailer, or if like a concrete truck comes, they gotta lift up the.
Yeah. I can't believe they allow that.
So I think one of the main things that Dave would like your input on is, should he pursue getting sidewalk on the south side of the street? Right now, there's sidewalk going up Prospect, or along Prospect on the north side.
Right, it's odd how it dead ends after that one house. You know, at the intersection of,
Spring Street, or?
yeah, Lake and
Lake.
it dead ends down here.
That
Yeah.
ends here.
No, down here. So he's talking about continuing this sidewalk that dead ends there up to meet up here so you can go to the school.
I do worry about that getting cost prohibitive.
That's-
Because as we go through there, the gradings, we're gonna be putting retaining
A
walls.
retaining wall on every one of those
Everyone's
properties.
properties.
I mean, as much as I would love to see it, I just agree, I think that's gonna add hundreds, thousands of dollars onto the cost.
Yeah, he was just concerned that if the committee was interested, he wanted to start working on the easements
Right.
now.
Right.
Because that'll take time.
Because I mean, I also worry that, because I think one of the residents that had requested it prior no longer lives on that street. So I also worry this turns into a situation like Glacier, where we seek an easement for the water main loop and one holds out.
Well, right.
So now, if you go through all this work and one homeowner in the middle holds out, what's the point in doing that project? I would say we put our efforts more toward, my opinion, or my preference would be put our efforts more towards getting rid of those power poles than adding the sidewalk. But that's mine personal.
I think we're gonna have a lot of unexploded bombs and excessive costs coming in on this, just to put it back. Like, to move power poles and to just do it better than what it is, than expanding the side. I mean, yeah, I can't see that even coming close to.
Am I allowed to speak? Am I allowed to speak?
That's the chairperson. It's up to the chairperson.
Sure.
I'm assuming that you're aware that there's that sidewalk coming from 94 to Merritt's Path, and then doing that now there. It was our concern that if you didn't keep going with the sidewalk, someone would say, I think you can sidewalk.
Good point.
Uh,
Yeah, the
They're,
bike trail.
they're actually adding a sidewalk all the way down Prospect?
They wanna come from where that white trail is.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like through backyards though. I didn't know it was along the road.
No, it's supposed to go all the way.
I think it's staked out, isn't it?
I don't know about that, but I know when Dave and I have been out there, it's always been the question, do we keep it on the east side? Or do we have them cross? It's just adding through the,
Right.
X apartments there, like Springs.
Oh, that side.
Well, no, it's gonna
be on the
other side. Yeah, it's gonna be on,
They would cross then at like Pirate Pass or whatever.
We wanted to cross.
But our sidewalks on the
Oh,
other side.
I
so
get you. So
talking
you're
getting
saying
crossover.
you're saying all of our sidewalk would be across the street, whereas the city sidewalk would be on the east side. I got it. Or the south side. Yeah.
So Dave and I were wondering, if we try to leave it on the same side, but we already got come up on the other side.
But we don't have a sidewalk, obviously, in front of the cemetery, right?
No, there's
it
not.
would need the whole way. That section on the, above the hill, I think is all right for, I mean, that could, and the sidewalk can easily go on there, but I think once you get more between School Street and Lake Street, where
Yeah.
those properties are set up higher, that's gonna be the expensive sidewalk.
There's a couple that are pretty high over the road that are gonna require a substantial
What,
retaining wall.
so do we have, like, what is the situation with budget and money? Is there, we bidding all these and taking what we can do, or?
We would be borrowing for these. Because this is, I mean, this was put in the budget next year for a couple million, right?
Yeah, I can answer that exactly. If you give me 1 second here.
To get back to what you had mentioned earlier, yes, we are trying to bid these now in an effort opposed to what we have done in the past. And I'd already told Director Beekle that I would like to see this one completed over the summer so that it is not one that, just like SS and just like Capital, that is ongoing at the start of the school year.
We have $850,000 in the budget for Prospect.
Oh.
That's basically
Is that the down payment?
That's the design work.
Yeah, that's the road surface, maybe.
Yeah, it's the engineering.
Yeah, there's no utility work in there.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah.
I'd say we proceed without sidewalk on the south side for now. Because the other one's a bike trail. I mean, so that's gonna be that's a separate, from my understanding, it's a bike trail, right, Jay? They're bringing?
Yeah, I would assume.
That's from my understanding, it's gonna be a bike trail, so,
Bringing in more people to downtown, they're gonna be widening stuff.
yeah.
Does it meet up where our sidewalk is on
No.
the other side, where they can cross to get over to the other side right there? Or do we extend the other side so then it at least butts up and they just have to cross the street?
Correct.
and
That's
go?
what I'm saying is, because there's still no sidewalk in front of the cemetery, so that bike trail would not connect to this part of the
Correct.
sidewalk anyways that we're proposing. So if we're already putting them to the north side of the street, keep them on the north side,
Yeah.
opposed to coming back.
Right.
So as long as our sidewalk on the north side meets up to an intersection point with that new bike trail, that's what we should be,
Right.
Yeah.
so that it's one continuous at least.
Yeah,
Like
not
Jay
the
said,
process.
putting it almost all the way to Maple, put the sidewalk to pretty
Yeah.
much to Maple.
But because this road construction project that we're proposing is only going to school, right?
Correct.
To the top of the hill.
Yeah,
So any sidewalk we do down there would just be a separate project then.
yeah.
So,
And when is that coming? Because I've heard of it, like, I thought it was supposed to be like last year? Or was it this year? Do you know when?
I didn't think it ever like fully got approved. I thought it was just conceptual, but
Yeah, so it hasn't been designed yet, so
Okay.
the other two projects have been designed.
Oh, you're talking about Prospect?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the bike trail, sorry.
Well,
Do we know anything
Yeah.
about that?
I don't know. I don't know about the bike trail.
okay, so if they're taking it all the way to Pirate Pass, then, oh, there's those 3 new houses there. Did they? Okay. Then, yeah, as long as we create a crossing there, and then, yeah, we would just have to go across the Kep apartment.
Basically go spring to Maple with the sidewalk.
Yeah,
It is awkward where it ends there.
it is.
You ever tried
Mhm.
going up to the school that way?
Yeah, I
It's
never
actually-
even realized that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, it's really, yeah.
Can we add that piece into the design?
the flat work,
Just
might as well if
the
you're gonna have a
side-
Yeah, I think
Continuation
that
of
would
a-
be, yeah.
Sidewalk from Maple to Spring.
spring, yeah.
I think that makes sense and meets the goal of
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because a
We're
good
gonna
loop,
have to consider what pedestrian crossing is going to be there as that comes in there.
Right.
That we might have to consider some sort of crosswalk or lighting or something, but we can cross that.
Yeah.
Heyo.
When we get there. But I think overall that'd be
Yeah.
a big enhancement.
No, that would be huge to be able to connect everything up to the school via a sidewalk.
That'd be awesome. Again, all the way to the Lake Country Trail from here.
Yeah.
And I don't use that trail purely because I don't want to drive down that.
Yeah, because you have to
White
pretty
bike
much
down
drive
the
and
road.
park.
Or risk
Yeah.
your life trying to ride a bike down that road.
That's what I mean, I'm not, yeah, I'm
shoulder.
not, yeah.
Oh, it's
And I'm not gonna
awful.
pack up my bike to go that short of a distance.
Okay, so that's one of them. Then we also have Wisconsin from Burroughs to Ryan, and that's pretty straightforward, correct? Because that's just a continuation of what we did from the tracks to Burroughs.
Correct.
Anybody have any issues or feedback on that project? The first phase of it, if this is just gonna be a continuation? And then the last bit is the glacier resurfacing, which God knows it needs it. And then the water main on, or portion of glacier as well.
Right, and so the committee should be aware that we did not get the easements for either the water main to loop it, like we had hoped, or to redo the stormwater work. So we're kind of working on Plan B with the stormwater work.
And was the water main looping and stormwater factored into the original budgeted number?
That I don't know.
I'm just wondering if that was gonna come in potentially under budget then.
how much was the quote-unquote substantial payments? Do we know?
Oh, from the resident?
Yeah.
Well, we did, it was in closed session.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't
I
know.
don't think you could disclose it in
Yeah,
open session. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
It was more than
You'd think.
we should
It was
ever
silly,
pay
yeah.
to help improve the village.
Their own property.
Yeah.
Shot, right?
Yeah. You know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Michael Scott said that. Okay, so then, this is just an update, looking for any feedback or anything, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we have not recommending sidewalk on the south side from school to lake, but adding in a component in that bidding for sidewalk from Spring to Maple on the north side. Anything else? Oh, and for construction on that to be done over the summer. Because if that's going on in September and October, we will be fielding a lot of.
You wanna upset the summer school parents trying to get their kids there?
That's true, but I'd rather do that than just the wrath that we will
has
take
to.
That's 4 weeks, it's.
if it's in September.
They'll just be late for duct tape
Right.
art,
Yeah.
or whatever the class is. Duct tape
real
crafts.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, let's see here. Discussion and possible, oh, I'm sorry.
Was
Do
the
you-
765 Glacier, was it Bob Rohde?
Well, I was gonna say, that just goes to show that, you know, village president and trustee live on there, and they one of the worst roads in the village, so apparently there's not any favoritism when it comes to pavement jobs. Matt, do you have everything?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's good, that's
Dis-
good feedback.
Discussion and possible action regarding the parking along Simmons Ave opposite the new Bubbles Car Wash. Matt?
So this was a request from the village president. His concern is that, or his perception was that there weren't that very many cars using that parking along Simmons, but I don't know that staff agrees. I think we think it is heavily used, and he was concerned about additional traffic reaching a choke point on Simmons coming to and from the car wash that's coming there.
And to clarify, there's already no parking on the east side of Simmons, correct? Is that right? The post office side? on the west side, the miniature side.
Yeah. So I checked it out yesterday when I was at the post office. It wouldn't be egregious to, and it actually would be better even for traffic as it is now, because they allow the parking on that side pretty much all the way up, almost all the way to Capitol, and it's kind of tight in there. If you basically you take away, they would lose about 4 spots on the street. And if you took it away from essentially the driveway of what would be the new car wash to Capitol, it'd be about 4 spots on the street. And at the same time, the parking lot in the back was completely empty. So I think the employees just park on the street because it's closer. Blame them,
Yeah.
But so it's not like, I don't think they're overflowing in the parking lot and parking on the street. I think they just park on the street because it's more convenient.
Yeah,
They own that lot to the north where the surface parking is theirs?
I'm assuming it, because their truck, that's their pallet and storage out there, and their loading dock is right there.
It does show to be in
Ooh.
the same
Yeah, and they have a walkway through.
legal description, right? They're in the same, property, their tax code.
Yeah, I mean, if that's their parking lot, I mean, we've said that on the plan commission for years, you're not allowed to count public parking into your parking numbers. You have no right to, public park or public roadway for your private business parking. It's just a benefit. Yeah, it would be max 5 cars to take it from their middle loading dock to Capitol, looks like. I don't think we have to deal with all the way back here, but I would be also inclined to just to free up that where cars will now be queuing to turn off of Simmons onto Capitol.
Yeah, even without the traffic from the car wash, it's kind of, I don't say obnoxious, but where they can park so close, they can get pretty close to Capitol, and you still got to get around them, making it tight there, especially when there's
A semi or
semi turning into the post office or going back there. So I think we would not be out of line to just make it no parking from that loading zone, their loading dock to Capitol.
Anybody want to make a motion?
Do we?
Yeah, it's a possible action. So it would be a recommendation to the village board then.
Correct.
I'll do it. I've been talking the most, I guess. I've had the most opinions about it. I guess I might as well do it, right?
Man, I've never seen anybody hate the miniature business more.
Let's see. I'm going to make a recommendation to the village board to make it no parking, or to add no parking on the west side of Simmons Avenue from PM Plastics loading dock to Capitol.
I'll do further discussion on that before we have a second, if there is one. Do we want to also look at the east side between what will be the new Bubbles driveway and Capitol as well?
I already know parking.
I thought you said there was parking.
No.
I would, if we're gonna,
Yeah.
if we're gonna put signage, then we should probably make it clear.
Okay. I guess.
You want to amend it?
Yes, I'll amend it. Make a recommendation to the village board to change both east and west side of Simmons Avenue to no parking from PM Miniatures loading dock to Capitol Drive.
Do you have a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, 5D, discussion regarding siting for potential future well 8 versus incorporating water filtration system at well 6. Man, it's been like 2 weeks since I've heard an issue with one of our wells, so this is great that it's on the agenda.
Yes. So right now, part of our water study is that Rupert is looking at what it would take to improve well 6 for filtration versus the cost of drilling a new well. And that new well would be well number 8, because we've got well number 7 under consideration in Cecilia. So with the board's or this committee's blessing, Dave will start looking for a potential location, which is kind of the feedback he's looking for from this committee.
So, didn't we already,
Well 7 is the one we talked about.
right, but essentially our new location is gonna be what's left over from those options that we had before, right?
More than likely, because, I mean, that's kind of also my fear with this, is that, you know, there's only so many places we could put a well. And so we've already done a study that gave us 2 options and a third, like, pipe dream one. So that's not like that yielded 17 options for us where we're like, we'll take one of them. No, let's find one out of the other 16, like.
Right, so we basically took the best of the 3, which I thought was,
Yeah, this is like fielding the C team now, where you're like, well, I guess we could still have a team,
right, okay.
you know.
Well, and I think that's part of Dave's concern here, is
Yeah.
that the next, if there is a well 8, it would probably involve the acquisition of land.
Right.
So we want to make sure staff has enough time to really thoroughly vet not only the appropriate location for a proper functioning well, but also
I mean,
where it's affordable. And
do we have some idea on cost for the filtration, the PFAS filtration system that well 6 would require?
no, we don't have that yet. It's still being studied.
I'm assuming the city has the same issues we're having, right?
They do.
Okay.
Which is why they're also undergoing the water study to see about Lake Michigan water.
Yep, that's correct.
Is there anyone surrounding us that's not having issues?
I don't know if Sussex is having issues.
That we could,
I've
Can we
heard
put a
that.
well over there?
I mean, you could potentially buy wholesale from the surrounding agency. They just meter it and you just buy wholesale water from them if they have the capacity and the willingness.
My personal opinion is I have no appetite to try to do a site study to put a new well 8 in right now. But
I mean, I feel like that's already been done, right?
Well,
true, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and part of it is I think Dave may not have been satisfied with the quality of that response. So he wanted your blessing to kind of dig into it himself. And
Okay.
Oh, so he feels there's other options out there?
which may involve land acquisition. So again, he wants to make sure you guys have that on your radar and that you're okay that he's looking and doing some estimates.
So is he planning on doing more of the work himself, or is he looking for kind of blessing or backing to hire a third-party engineering firm to be doing this, the site's search?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, but my thought at this point, Dave will be doing the initial looking. I mean, we would obviously need some assistance at some point to
Right.
consider the viability of a site, but
I mean, if he feels he has time, I'm not the one to sit there and tell him not to, how to manage his projects. I just didn't feel we needed to hire an outside firm again to do the search.
okay. There's no action on the agenda, but what I'm kind of taking for notes or direction is that that there isn't much of an appetite for hiring for a new site study, but if Dave wants to look into it, the committee's comfortable with that.
We never even we never even ran into ground the third site that was up on the hill last time that they found, because that would require an acquisition
The one behind,
up on Hawthorne or whatever.
yeah, Hawthorne Hills.
Yeah. But I don't think we ever even looked into the cost of acquisition up there. So I mean, realistically, there was one option that, yeah, if he wants to dig in further into that one to see what that'll cost, and so.
That one actually would have been a better location because of because
To feed Hawthorne so that we're not reliant on We Energies pumping, or keeping power to pump water up there.
yeah, that one, because there's no redundancy up there and it's a high spot, so it'd be a good pressure for our system.
Yeah. If Dave wants to use the time.
Okay,
Has there been any movement on the class action or the funds that have been set aside for municipalities struggling with these?
I have not seen anything.
Sweet.
Do we know where the PFAS could have come from in ours?
Just assume 3M. I think that's the
Everyone's-
I think that's the class action we jumped in on, was the 3M one. Well, they're based out of Minnesota.
No, I mean.
I just didn't know, yeah, if there was a local company that was,
I think it's just that it's their products that
Oh, I
that
see.
they sold that went into the system or whatever.
Not a
So,
result of like,
yeah, not manufacturing
there,
process, yeah. Hopefully it's bigger than my class action from like Facebook leaking my data for $17 or whatever I got. Okay, let's see, next item. My last item, discussion and possible action regarding Riverwood parcels.
So there's a parcel adjacent to the existing Simmons Woods Park that is owned by the county, and it contains a stormwater pond. And the pond is important to the village because it is factored into our water purification statistics to satisfy the state stormwater permit, what we call an MS4 permit. So we have to be able to demonstrate using formulas that we are cleaning the right amount of stormwater, which is you channel to a pond, the solids settle out, and then the water can be returned to the watersheds. So the pond is important to the village. The county doesn't want ownership of the parcel anymore. And I think the issue they're having is that there's a village neighborhood that abuts this parcel. And I think some of the property owners like to encroach into that land as if it was theirs. And so the county has to kind of patrol that border periodically to remind people that, you know, their ownership rights end at their lot line. So they're offering the village this parcel, and I don't think Director Beekle's overjoyed at the idea, but I think it's important enough having that pond as to remain part of the village MS4 permit calculations that he is thinking we should accept the conveyance.
And how much are they wanting for it? Or are they just wanting to quit claim it?
I think they want to give it to us.
so the Riverwood does run into that, right? We are putting water in there from our streets.
I believe, yep. No, that might be a private pond for that subdivision. And they're not maintaining it. I'm not sure if it inherits street runoff or not. That's a good question, Mark. I don't have an answer for that.
Because how do we, yeah, because was it a regional pond? And when Riverwood went in there, we just kind of added to it, or how did we dump water into a pond that, on a property that's not owned?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is,
Ask my neighbor.
well, before it was,
It's a great question, though, right?
yeah, I mean, I'm with Dave, yeah, I mean, I don't want to take ownership of, I mean, a stormwater pond is not an asset, it's a definite liability.
Right, that's a good way of putting it, right.
Um,
Which Dave does recognize.
Yeah. But if it's necessary, that's a,
But the other part of it is if we, I mean, this is similar to when the school said, we want to give you pirate pass, and we're like, no, again, it's another liability that we have to maintain, and it wasn't in great condition to begin with. If we don't take this, are they gonna fill it in? You know, it's still gonna be their pond. You know, they're just, I understand where they're coming from, going, well, you guys, you know, use it, it's in your area, why don't you just take this? You know, I don't fault them, but the other part of it is why?
is there still an HOA, an active HOA in Riverwood?
Boy, I don't know that either.
I would think there is.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
contribute a little bit.
Please.
We talking about the Simmons, that's right on Westfield Way.
Yeah, that pond on Westfield.
So that, I know that was owned by county, we've been taking care of that since that started. The pond we're talking about is in the eastern river pond, and we believe that water runs off the road. And then it looks like there's an outlet that goes to the north. And we're already maintaining it.
We are.
By maintaining it, it would just mowing, or what, are we dredging or anything? That's it. So it's not a lot.
I don't see it as, unless we ever had to dredge it or something, redirect it. There's some other pieces that aren't being maintained, and those are also.
Right,
So-
is it worth it to, sorry.
I was gonna say, so right now, obviously, so looking at it, you mow the whole lot. Does the village also clear the sidewalk there? Okay.
There's another portion that is Washington, I think that's Washington, is a little bit further west, away. Two sections of it. I'm assuming that's county there also, I believe, in that.
It loops around, yeah.
It's like one big parcel. It just
Yeah.
kinda-
All goes in that one for sure.
Could, if we need it, right, it sounds like, pretty much.
Yes,
Yeah.
Dave is recommending we take the conveyance, but if the committee does have questions, I mean, you could table it for the next meeting and when Dave can be here.
I would like, if we take it, to immediately,
Inspect it?
well, no, have our, yeah, get an we can, I don't know if there's an assessment, or just send a letter to the Riverwood subdivision now saying, hey, this is your, you know, you guys are responsible for the maintenance of this. If we can, have our attorney look into that to see what the legal capabilities are to,
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it any different than any other neighborhood that has an outlot. But more like, you know, the St. Mary's property, the Glen, and their retention ponds and such, the HOA has to maintain those.
yeah, I mean, what Hawthorne does, and yeah, and have them.
The other part of it is, like I said, if it's, you know, completely filled in and with silt except for a foot of it or something like that, then going back to the county going, hey, well, maybe you should bring this up to code before we take it, you know? Like, It's the same thing we did with the Pirate Pass roadway, where it basically had to grade out at a certain level, or the school was gonna be on the hook for the first level of repairs or so.
Maybe, we get direction to Dave to inspect it, or to his best capabilities.
Yeah, just throw a big rock out there and see what happens, you know?
I don't know how much he's able to. Does it hold water?
And there's very little can. Fairly clean. Kids are.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how we inspect it. How much silt's in it, but I mean, get his opinion on it. Somehow we
Yeah.
got to convey to River
Yeah, just like I said before, we
or Westfield, whoever they River.
agree to take ownership, we should probably get the current status of it.
Okay.
So I guess there's no action, it's just a recommendation then to staff.
Or to come back in a future agenda then, right?
I mean, do we feel the need for it to come back to us, or?
There's no.
Or if
Guessing there's no-
if he's comfortable with it, then, because I'm sure that would then come to the village board,
Right.
so
on-
just basically our recommendation is to have it assessed, the condition assessed, and then we could always vet it at the village board. Yeah, to not add a layer of delay in it. No. No, that's just direction. All right,
Okay.
you good with that, Matt?
Yep, got it.
Cool. Item 6, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion
Second.
and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned.
Easy enough.